stand him. Hope Justin crushes him.
Welcome to round number 3. Looks like we have KCI, maybe even budget KCI on the right versus Jund on the left.
Yeah, definitely looks like KCI. Mox Opal and Chromatic Star not seen together in many other decks.
I think that's a fine start.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
I know nothing about it. Maybe Ancient Stirrings is better, but who knows?
The classic Wooded Foothills Pass.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
My worry is that, you didn't keep any 1-mana spell.
Yeah, he's got a Kolagon's Command, and it looks like maybe an Abrupt Decay, but it's not the most ideal start, I will say. What are we revealing here off of Stirrings? Probably looking for a land, but I'm not sure. This actually isn't the most insane start for KCI. Yeah, Inventor's Fair is pretty good, though.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the redundant pieces of the deck, right?
Yeah, for sure. This goes and actually finds your KCI. Also, it's a mana source.
Weird. Legendary.
It is, yeah. It does have a downside, actually. You can only play 3 of them or so.
He's going to pass the turn.
Yeah, Justin, I would imagine is trying to find Overgrown Tomb here, but Stomping Ground it is.
I think we just want to see a strong Goyf and then pass.
Yeah, Goyf's interesting here. It's not very big. Scavenging Ooze actually does have some interesting applications, but a Goyf is, of course, a good clock.
Land the draw for turn, I think.
Looks like it. Maybe Blooming Marsh. Yep.
Scavenging
See
Ooze.
Scavenging
There it
Ooze.
is.
Definitely reasonable. This makes the Stomping Ground play a little bit more sensical. And I think he has Overgrown Tomb in hand, so...
Sometimes you just need to eat 2 things in a graveyard.
Yeah, for sure. If Justin can kind of keep the graveyard under control this game, then it does get kind of interesting. Engineered Explosive is one of the cards that we need to look out for here to blow up the Scavenging Ooze. Also, Jund plays a lot of 2-drops, so...
Speaking of 2-drops, I see a Liliana and a Kozilek's... No.
A Kolagon's Command.
Kolagon's Command. Hello.
Yeah, a couple 3-drops in hand. The Kolagon's Command actually looks like it could possibly go after Mox Opal here. That's probably the best target, although you may want to save it for the juiciest target being KCI.
I think at that point it might be too late.
Yeah, if KCI hits the table, you're in a lot of trouble.
If you have 3 mana up, you have 3 mana up and you're good to go, but...
Right.
I'm very tempted to just slam this Liliana down and just start ticking up, right?
It's very possible. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in Liliana. It does apply a bit of pressure here.
Another Ancient Stirrings.
Yeah, the Ancients, they stir.
Bannable card? How do you feel about that card?
It's close. I know that it has a lot of restrictions as far as what it can get. It's no Ponder or Preordain, but honestly, it's in the decks that it's played in. It could possibly just be better than those cards.
Absolutely,
So,
it is.
Yeah, definitely something to consider. Terrarian.
Yep.
Not a playable card, but it is an eggs. So
Here's another one.
Here we are. Double Maelstrom Pulse would be pretty funny.
Oh boy.
Won't happen, but would be funny.
Forced to draw for turn.
Not a great one, but also it is a green source, so kind of relevant.
So if I'm the Jund player, my opponent is not playing lands. So KCI, theoretically, it's like 1 land away from playing, right? Because we have Opal on the field.
Right.
So maybe just playing land and then passing might be okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the KCI player took Scrap Trawler off of the Ancient Stirrings, which is kind of interesting because he didn't take land, but he also missed land drop. So you have to kind of wonder what's in hand. It's obviously not land cards. If it's a KCI, then a top deck land kind of gets you. But
Maybe it's an out that you can play to.
Right.
Scavenging Ooze is going to create value from a Jund player no matter what.
Yeah, almost certainly.
But right now, there aren't any trawlers to really get the engine going.
Right. Yeah, a Trawler also is just the juiciest K-Command target, so saving your life for that one is kind of nice. More
Third
stirring.
Ancient Stirrings.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have it all, I guess.
I see. Is it a Mind Stone or an Engineered Explosives?
Or maybe a Pirate Spellbomb.
Oh.
Well, we're gonna find out. It is an EE.
EE.
I don't quite know why we would take that over a land if there was a land, but
He's just very afraid of this scavenging ooze, I guess. Crack this thing, make a mana.
Crack a thing.
Draw a card.
Yeah, the our Jun boy here is not applying the most pressure, but also he can blow up this EE or just abrupt decay. That's a solid line. I really like that.
I think that that abrupt decay is not going to get a whole lot more valuable.
Yeah, that's the real kicker. It's not going to get too great. I actually kind of would have preferred maybe to abrupt decay the Mox Opal. That might be kind of crazy because you lose your scavenging use, but maybe not. I don't hate trying to kill the Mox Opal now.
Well, especially when you have abrupt decay and Kolaghan's Command in hand.
Right.
It leaves you vulnerable, you know what I mean, to a Pyrite Spellbomb.
For sure.
But
For sure.
at that point,
yeah, I kind of like abrupt decaying the Mox Opal instead, and then if the KCI player kills your scavenging ooze on their turn and blows up the EE, you can actually just make them discard or something and get your scavenging ooze back with the Kolaghan's Command. So interesting. Looks like he has Bloodbraid Elf in hand and just chose not to play it. It's kind of an interesting line. I really liked the ability to just tap out and go here. The KCI player obviously doesn't have anything going on, so it might be worth it to just, slam it and go.
yeah.
I'd say this is going to be a sweet play.
Yeah.
Kolaghan's Command is going to make sure that KCI cannot come down next turn, and this opens up a line for Bloodbraid Elf.
So, do you think, is there any reason to shock my opponent here with Kolaghan's Command?
Yeah, the damage race is something to definitely consider. Discarding, I don't know how effective it will be. Oh, discarding KCI, that's interesting.
I think he has a second in hand.
Yeah, I kind of think I'd prefer the discard, but I'm not just so tied to it that I think it has to be the right play. I can definitely consider a line where the 2 damage is relevant.
So here we have multiple choices. Bloodbraid is probably the best.
Yeah, when in doubt, just pay 4 mana, put it on the table. Instead, we're just going to eat.
That's fine. I mean, we have 4 mana remaining. I don't like playing either of the Lilianas here.
No, I'm not really interested in Liliana. I agree with you. What I am interested, if I'm going to play any of them, it's going to be the Veil. And tick up to discard Last Hope, because Last Hope is not particularly good in this situation. But I really would like to increase the clock here. 2 damage a turn is just not enough. KCI can eventually just draw out of this.
Especially when he's gaining 1 from Inventor's Fair every turn.
Yeah, that's another issue that we're really trying to battle is it's a losing line to just kind of sit and hope that the Scavenging Ooze is going to be good enough. Although keeping the graveyard clear is actually a pretty reasonable thing to do. Scavenging Ooze is the best 2/2 you could have in this situation.
Another Opal, top deck. Let's see. The worst thing that my opponent could draw here, probably a Pyrite Spellbomb. Granted, it's not coming down this turn anyway.
Right, it would definitely force the hand, though. I guess it could come down this turn. Wellspring. It's one of the best cards in the deck, just as an engine piece. It's a free divination.
Everybody likes drawing cards, right?
Yeah, it's basically Pot of Greed. See how many times I can reference Pot of Greed in this
Pot of Greed count
broadcast.
2.
Yeah. All right, Bolt off the top is not particularly good, but it does go face and can trim on the clock a bit. So
yeah,
I don't hate leaving 2 Forest up or like a Forest Blooming Marsh up and going for this Bloodbraid Elf.
Now's the time.
Yep. I actually can't leave Stomping Ground up. You have to tap that one. So whatever.
Probably
Forest.
leave like Blooming Marsh and or an Overgrown Tomb.
Yeah. That's fine. We're gonna leave 2 green up either way. Bloodbraid Elf trigger. All right.
Another Scavenging Ooze.
It's not bad. It's more to the clock. I think this does present lethal next turn.
Most assuredly.
Yeah, especially with the bolt. Get in for 5. Next turn it's going to be 10, including the bolt. Do note that I am including the bolt. And this is one of those situations, Peter, where if you end up 2 damage short, you're going to feel kind of silly with that Kolaghan's Command choice.
I think with the 0 amount of pressure my opponent has right here, him not finding a 3rd land is very brutal. But he did cast 3 Ancient Stirrings. So.
Yeah, and chose not to take land off any of them. We didn't really get to see the Stirrings, but I can't imagine he missed every time. Sometimes you're just supposed to take the land. It's okay.
Especially after 3.
Right.
Honestly, he probably saw 1 in the first and second.
Probably.
He took 2 combo pieces, and then on the third one, he just whiffed.
Yeah. Yeah, and those things happen.
With your unlimited amount of, well, not unlimited, but greater amount of redraws with like Ichor Wellspring,
Right.
stars,
Terrarians and spheres, if you have them. It does seem likely that you would draw land. Also, getting the opal blown up was kind of annoying, I assume.
Especially with the one he drew the very next turn.
Right.
Because he could have gone tap opal, play opal, sack tap opal.
Right. For sure. Oh, we found a buried ruin.
That's not nothing.
Okay.
2 red mana.
2 red floating from Terrarian. We do have enough to put KCI on the table, but notable, the only artifacts he can sack are Opal and Wellspring. Not extremely exciting. That is, even if there's even a KCI in hand.
Yeah.
We could see a Scrap Trawler here, which might prompt some responses from the graveyard. Nope.
Mindstone?
Mindstone. Reasonable. Pyrite Spellbomb. Sure. This can trim on the clock a little bit, blow up a Bloodbraid Elf. That said, this Spellbomb is going to get eaten, which makes this combo turn even harder.
Yeah, and I think you eat Spellbomb and Bloodbraid and just increase your clock, right?
I agree. That's definitely the right play.
I think either way it's a 2-turn clock, but...
Yeah, we get in for 5/8 next turn, so it can be fine.
Terrarium.
More Terrarians, more just redraws.
Looks like he does have a Mirror Retriever in hand, so if he can get Ironworks down on the table next turn, there's a aligned victory there.
Right.
Inquisition.
Inquisition's a good draw.
Yeah, I would not hesitate to cast that card.
Yeah, I think I'm very interested in casting Inquisition off of Swamp. You're not using that mana anyway for scavenging use, so just, see what's up in the opponent's hand and figure out what you need to do.
Cast the card. I want to know.
All right, we're going to eat Bloodbraid Elf, which didn't happen on the end of the turn. It didn't really matter which order it did it. It's going to get done.
I guess you could, like, Liliana or the Veil.
You can Lily and Inquisition.
And Bolt? Yeah.
Yeah, and Bolt, I guess. Yeah.
It doesn't leave you any graveyard interaction, but who cares?
It's true. You are very naked the following turn, but maybe it's worth doing. Alright, we're going to Inquisition. Decided that's the line.
It has to be. Yep. Cast this thing.
Taking a Scrap Trawler would have been, or the Retriever would have been excellent, because then you can get in for an extra point of damage. Don't know if that would have been relevant this game.
Okay, so this is kind of brutal because he's got Retriever, Trawler, and KCI.
Right. Justin has a little bit of everything, though. He's got the Bolt for the Trawler, and he went ahead and took the Retriever and ate it. So, kind of interesting. I think this game is over. I think Jund is going to do what Jund does.
Land for turn.
It's a good one. It's a good start.
Yeah. KCI player's gonna have to draw himself out, not knowing about the bolt in Gen player's hand.
Yeah. He's gotta try to go for it here.
Yeah, you just jam this thing. I mean, it's resolving, right?
Yep.
Now you're just gonna sack things that are mana abilities and.
Yep. There's a trigger here that can be responded to, but no response.
Right.
Opal's a good draw. Actually, it just generates mana. Justin also has 2 green to eat stuff with, as well as the Bolt. So
he set himself up very nicely.
Yeah, this game's panned out pretty well for him.
Opponent is saying tap this, sack this.
Yep. Mega mana, make 2 more mana. It's basically Black Lotus for colorless. Old Mindstone.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Play
Trawler.
What does this card do? So is it when it goes to the graveyard? Or is it when it also comes into play?
It's when any artifact goes to the graveyard.
Okay.
You get to return something with CMC less to your hand. So just gonna have a little look, see what's going on. If there's anything he wants to eat. The biggest thing I think that can be sacked right now is it. Was there a Terrarian still in play? Doesn't
Yep.
look like it. Or there is.
Yep.
So we can sack a 2 to get back a 1.
So you get back Mind Stone,
Okay, so
sack a
there's
land.
a Citadel for 2 mana.
Don't need that.
Notable that none of these abilities can be responded to. None of the KCI sack abilities can be responded to due to the fact that it is a mana ability. Now, this creates a trigger, so there could be a response point here. Bolt-on Troll is reasonable, but it also does bring back something else. But you can eat the thing it targets.
Right. So he's going to target Opal, eat Opal. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. So Justin's just, like, very content in eating the targets right now. Our KCI player here does not have very much going on. Just the Mind Stone.
Okay.
Could try to sack for mana, but probably not going to get there. Bolt end of turn should pretty well clean this up.
As a KCI player, I don't know if I'm even inclined to, like, sack this Mind Stone to draw a card. Because at this point, like, your
Right.
combo's kind of dead in the water.
Right, it's going to have to be a insanely good, like, maybe Ichor Wellspring.
Yeah. And I think you let him... You let him get this Terrarium back. Because I think you want to prioritize the Mind Stone.
Possibly.
I mean, like, sure, you get mana fixing through Terrarium, but one, it comes into play tapped.
Right.
So you're not getting that ability anyway
Yeah,
until
if he
next
gets
turn.
back Terrarian, it's not a threat this turn. Also, I'm just all down for bolting this Scrap Trawler. That's where I really want to be.
Eat the Terrarium. That's fine.
Sure. Alright. Opal for mana. What do we find? I do enjoy that we have the bolt still available.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of annoying. Here's Pirate Spawn? Or is it EE?
I think it's an EE.
An EE's
For what?
very gross.
No, he probably tapped it for like a different color. So put that thing on 2. He's got the mana to activate it because he can sack stuff.
It's not ideal. Yeah, he can actually sack Trawler to activate EE or sack Opal, I guess. He could sack KCI as well.
Yeah, and I think you just hold on to Bolt.
Not that we're ever sacking KCI, but yeah. The Bolt's a weird one. You could also try to go to the face with Bolt, and like you can Liliana minus if you don't draw the second Bolt. So I actually don't hate that.
That was a really good draw from our KCI player.
Yeah, EE was, of course, one that could happen. Playing it safe also points this Bolt at Scrap Trawler. That's a more safe play. That said, it's difficult. I actually don't want to Bolt now. If you Bolt now, then he can sack his Trawler, get the trigger, and pop EE. Whereas if you wait till your turn, you can Bolt the Trawler, and then eat the Trawler. This is a little bit loose. Oh my goodness. So Trawler's going to trigger. See, this is the kind of thing you could avoid just by untapping. It's going to get back Ichor Wellspring, which is one of the better cards you can get back. Didn't pop EE though. Or is going to.
He's deciding about it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the exact line I was just talking about, that if you wait till you untap, you can actually Bolt the Trawler. He still gets to use the EE, but in response, you can eat the Scrap Trawler and whatever it targets. It leaves you in a much better position to fight the KCI.
Bloodbraid the draw for turn. That's good.
Bloodbraid is the best way to fight KCI.
All right, so what do you want to hit off of Bloodbraid?
Almost certainly Bolt, honestly, or Scavenging Ooze.
Like, how bad would an Inquisition be? Get that
It actually
Wellspring
wouldn't.
out?
Yeah, Inquisition or Thoughtseizes is actually pretty good as well. Liliana of the Veil is good, but we already have one of those in hand, so I'm actually not opposed to just Liliana of the Veiling here and making KCI opponent play off the top of their deck. Because this Liliana Last Hope is not that interesting.
You could get a creature back, right?
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze back would be kind of interesting.
I don't know if you have enough mana for all that.
You can definitely play the Lily, play the Scavenging Ooze. But I don't know if we, at that point, then have any mana available to eat things.
Right.
Whoa. Whoa.
Looks like we will have 1 mana available to eat something.
Whoa. Okay. He must have a plan. This is the least likely line I think I would have gone with.
So you would have hit an Inquisition, just as a thought.
Yeah, that's something interesting to consider.
Here's my creature.
Yeah.
All right. So this provides the greatest amount of interaction for this combo
Yeah,
with the lines that we had, right?
I think so. Honestly, though, I know Bloodbraid is spinning the wheel, but I think I do like playing Liliana the Veil there, ticking up, discarding your Liliana last hope, and then just Bloodbraiding next turn, or seeing what you draw, and then Bloodbraiding. It's not the guaranteed win line, but this line also doesn't guarantee a win in any way. Scavenging Ooze is good, but it's not the end-all be-all.
So I don't think that my KCI player can win this turn. And correct me if I'm wrong.
It would take a very good sequence of draws off the Sicker Wellspring.
But I mean, if you're going to play to your opponent's outs, then I think the Scavenging Goose was the right play.
Possibly. Yeah, there has to be a Scrap Trawler involved for this to work, so I do sort of concede that this is definitely an okay play as long as Scrap Trawler doesn't happen.
Looks like Glimmer Void and another land was the draw.
Yeah, it looks like it. Darksteel Citadel, which is just a Black Lotus here.
Yeah. Who needs lands?
Yep. Buried Ruin is available to target things, but Scavenging Ooze will make that line not very good.
Right.
Peter, do you think this KCI deck is worthy to be removed from the format?
So I was on Reddit today, as I
Yeah.
am every day,
Yeah,
and
so, of course.
someone asked if he should convert his Lantern deck into a KCI deck.
Sure.
The top comment was a hyperlink that just said KCI will not be banned. Clicking on the hyperlink led to another forum that said Twin will not be banned. That had a hyperlink that said Pod will not be banned. So I think it goes to show that, like, no matter what we want as a meta, Wizards is going to do their own thing. Also, like, a lot of people argued that, like, oh, they won't ban KCI because that'll just kill it. Well, I mean, like, you kill Pod.
Yeah, they banned. I would say Pod was the linchpin of the Pod deck, and they banned that. Splinter Twin was the Twin deck. They didn't seem to have a problem killing those things, did they?
Right. So whatever Wizards wants to do, they're going to do. Looks like we ate Scrap Trawler with Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, Scrap Trawler was targeted and then properly exiled by Mr. Scoos.
And we're going to pass.
Yeah.
All right, so I think
Bloodbraid
this is
this time
death.
for sure.
Yeah, you just slam this thing in your opponent's face.
Yep. It almost doesn't matter what you hit. I don't
Yeah.
think it matters at all what you hit.
I mean, like a 4th Scavenging Ooze, that'd be insane, right?
That would be a whole lot. Just hit Bolt just for the rub-ins. No Cascade?
That's fine. You know what? We'll just go to the next one. Perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Goes to show that Jund.
Jund's a classic, man.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
So
just pick him up.
It's a fine bourbon.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We're going to see how many Ancient Grudges are in Justin's sideboard because all of them come in. As well as what other artifact hate he has. Looks like he has a whiteboarded choke, maybe. Oh, that's disgusting.
I mean, like, if you're going to have a choke, it's got to be whiteboarded, right? That's the one I have.
Maybe. He has
Do you think he's playing your list?
Probably not. My list is a little bit old at this point, but it's Kolaghan's Command on the side. It's reasonable. Spellbomb's reasonable. Surgical's okay.
Right.
Actually, I do kind of like Surgical right now, which I've never really said before, but Surgical out of Thoughtseize decks is sometimes good enough.
Turn 1, Thoughtseize you. Take your KCI.
And
Surgical
it, win the game. Yeah, I don't believe KCI really has any other way to win after that.
They have the Thopter combo, but without KCI, it's much slower.
Also, Scavenging Ooze just kind of eats the Thopter combo alive.
Yeah,
to some degree.
Literally.
Yeah, it's you can still do it, but it's much harder to power through.
Here's an interesting question: what are you taking out?
I'm not interested in Terminate. My discard spells are still good. Liliana the Veil is not great. Liliana Last Hope is awful. So those are the cuts I'm looking to make. Bolt is what it is, right? If there's any fatal pushes, those are also probably coming out.
Yeah.
I think Abrupt Decay is very good. And Bolt is kind of swingy. It's an interesting card that sometimes is very good, and this matchup it's always sort of a Terminate effect, but also can go face. But I'm not interested in any of the actual kill spells outside of Abrupt Decay.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
There's a long game one, even for Jund.
Yeah.
Goes to show, doesn't matter how many resources you rip out of your opponent's hand or exile from the graveyard, they have a way back.
Yeah, KCI also notably a resilient deck. That said, I would like to have seen Jund sort of turn the corner a bit quicker. I don't think there was really a very likely series of draws. The turn we could have just played the Bloodbraid Elf and ended the game a bit quicker.
Yeah,
I think at some point, once you get your opponent down on resources, you need to try to get them dead as quickly as possible.
I think the worry was the utility land putting Scrap Trawler back on top of the deck.
Sure, Buried Ruin.
Because that just wins you the game. Especially with the amount of artifacts, playing an artifact land.
Right.
Pretty strong.
Right. Yeah, Darksteel Citadel is just insanely good in the KCI deck. It casts the KCI and then starts the mana generation just by sacking it straight away. I think KCI could have some number of fatal pushes or bolts in the sideboard for this matchup.
Bolts I could definitely see. Do you like the grid?
Aether Grid?
Yeah. Is this a matchup you'd want to play that card?
Maybe. It does do pretty good work against Jund outside of Tarmogoyf. Definitely, smacks down Bob pretty hard. Gets rid of Scavenging Oozes and Bloodbraid Elves, but of course Tarmogoyf being sort of the premier threat that it is, I don't know that I'm that interested. That said, it does close games and eventually go to the face. So, grid is something I consider. The presence of Abrupt Decay would also make me a little bit more cautious of that. So, I don't know. It's definitely a consideration, though.
Absolutely.
Thopter Sword is definitely one of the best ways to beat Jund, though, out of the KCI deck. Notably, Thopter Sword goes infinite once KCI is on the table,
which is something we recently figured out.
Yeah. Well, our local KCI player, Jordan, was playing Thopter Sword early on for a while and then stopped to play Mishra's Self-Replicator or something because, I don't know, he thinks he's smart, but Mishra's Self-Replicator was not an okay card to play.
But that card is insane. I mean, you get that thing going.
Yeah, I guess once you make an army of 2/2s, it's pretty good, but why didn't you just make an army of 1/1 flyers and gain infinite life at the same time?
Yeah. Also, you want to pay 5 mana for a 2/2?
Yeah, I'm not that excited about it, to be fair. So, no, he was playing Thopter Sword, and we were just testing Jund versus KCI, and Thopter Sword was the only way I really, outside of a very quick combo, Thopter Sword was the way that I was losing those games, so something to consider. Surgical Extraction sometimes does things to Thopter Sword. I'd much prefer an extra paid effect, though.
Absolutely.
Split Second is very valuable. All right, both players keeping 6 and scrying.
Scry to the top. Strong starting hand for Jund player here. If he has a discard spell, I think we're off to the races.
Does he have discard spell into 2-drop?
Most assuredly.
Yeah,
right?
that's just the dream. That's all I ever want in Magic, honestly.
Inventor's Fair, Alter the Brood?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's a really interesting win condition.
It does something.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical. Color me skeptical.
We'll see if it pays off here as our KCI player plays Orb.
Million Tarmogoyf, ironically good here. Don't know how relevant it will be. Million land is...
That land
good.
is kind of brutal.
Drew Lily Last Hope. Don't know why that's still on the deck, but it is.
I mean, as a one of, like...
Yeah, it's got to be one of the cards that I'm cutting almost immediately. This is going to be a Dark Confidant? Be a Dark Confidant. Or Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf would be probably just as good here.
Yeah, kill this thing.
Yeah, the land we're looking for is probably Blood Crypt.
Better be.
Yeah, almost certainly. Forest in hand. We don't need more green sources. We do need red, and we do need black. So, Blood Crypt fills the role.
And that's how you make Jun, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how you... he's got green already. What do we need? We just need some red and black. And
Here's this thing.
Yep. Alter the Brood, notably famous for making Tarmogoyf bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Putting creature in... Creature's actually kind of a hard one to get in the graveyard, so...
But we're there. We already have
yeah,
Glyph.
Alter the Brood has done its duty.
Play more artifacts, please.
Yep, artifacts will eventually hit the graveyard. Almost certainly.
So if I'm the KCI player, how do I kill this Glyph? Like, am I at all concerned?
Yeah, you're not concerned probably yet. EE is the only way they have, unless he's got Fatal Push or Path out of his board. That's it. Abrupt Decay is also a possibility out of the KCI deck.
Yep.
There's also a Maelstrom Pulse in the hand of Justin here, which is one of the more powerful effects.
I mean, like, if you just don't like that Alter the Brood, get rid of it.
Oh, what are we doing?
What? Do you have anything better to do?
Save a Maelstrom Pulse.
He could play Abrupt Decay.
I don't hate Abrupt Decay. Yeah, Abrupt Decay is
Sure.
fine. It puts an artifact in the graveyard as well as an instant. That's
Oh, boy.
2 relevant card types to move up to a 4/5.
Hey.
Still missing a sorcery. Yeah, making sure your clock is just as good as it can be is one of the more important things. If a Scrap Trawler doesn't come down here, I'm likely to bolt the opponent.
Got a race.
Yeah, because next turn you can attack for 7 with the Treetop Village. Card's good.
It is very good. Show me the money, KCI player.
I guess he could just put a KCI in play. There's not really a whole lot of ground to start a combo off with, but if he suspects the Jund player does not have one of the following K-Command, Ancient Grudge, or Maelstrom Pulse, then putting the KCI in play is a strong line.
Man, you could just, like, leave up red mana and cast Liliana. Yeah, he's got to draw Black Source, but, like,
It's true.
that's the dream.
Yeah, to some degree. Yeah, no, it'd be really nice to be able to do that. I really want to activate this Treetop. I really do, you know? I just want to get in and start beating with this.
That's absolutely
This
fair.
village. EE for 2? Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess. That's it's interesting. I don't think there's actually any mana left over, so the Abrupt Decay on the Altar of the Brood is probably a fine play, but
Now we kind of have to Maelstrom Pulse this.
I guess, yeah, it's kind of a sad situation where this Maelstrom Pulse has to be pointed at this EE almost certainly. Oh man, we drew a second bolt. Well, that's reasonable.
So I think EE has to go because that means we win the next turn.
Yeah, so you the line here is blow up engineered explosives, end of turn, bolt the opponent, untap, attack with Treetop and Goyf and bolt the opponent.
Sounds good.
That's the winningest line, and it probably also still beats a resolved Carclan Ironworks, but I'm not sure. Depends on what the hand is.
Like, we can't let my opponent. Oh. Yeah. This thing.
I
forgot that land taps for mana, right?
Buried Ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he also only had 1 mana available, but I guess we were mistaken on that.
He got rid of Orb. Mid red.
Oh,
And used Forest.
Sure. Okay. Well, here's a Liliana Last Hope, I guess.
This is fine. Hold up, Bull.
Gets back the Goyf or whatever else you want. Oh, okay.
So we have sorcery now.
Sorcery is in the yard. Kind of nice. I love seeing the second Maelstrom Pulse out of Jund. Just got the wrong art, but that's okay.
We can't all be Jund players like you.
I'm not judging, just merely making a comment on his poor choice. 2 mana. Ichor Wellspring. Call my shot. Oh, I'm already wrong. Trawler?
Yeah.
Terrarian.
All right. So if we bolt Trawler, he gets back EE.
Probably. It presents this weird sort of like, not really a loop per se, but he gets back the E. We play the Goyf again. It's kind of this little song and dance that nobody's really winning.
I still think you have to bolt it. Like, force him
I
to
agree.
make a choice now.
I agree.
There it is.
Yeah, gonna feel silly if we draw the third bolt, but we only have 1 red source.
Gotta activate that treetop, though.
We do have to activate the treetop. That's on the list of priorities. So if he gets back the EE, I actually don't hate just activating the treetop.
We drew Inquisition for turn.
Inquisition's great.
Yeah. We're not gonna activate treetop right now.
No, I do like then just taking the EE and deploying the Goyf though.
Yeah, let's do that.
Put a 5/6 into play. Ooh.
Nature's Claim. The
Yeah.
other card in hand.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's not going to be relevant this game.
Take up no target past turn. Will we see an army of zombies?
I'm going to go with a strong no,
Okay.
but it is a possibility.
I want to live that dream one time.
Ultimating Liliana Last Hope is a good deal of fun, to be fair. Here's Buried Run. Gonna do what it does. Gets back a Scrap Trawler. Or an EE.
EE.
That's an interesting choice. I'm not quite sure where the inspiration for that has come from.
Gotta kill Goyf.
You're going to pop Terrarian here. I guess so. This Goyf is going to get in, though. There's going to be 8 points coming at you next turn.
Plus bolt.
And if there's a land draw, well...
We can Maelstrom Pulse this.
You need to bolt into turn here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you can Maelstrom Pulse the EE, so... Oh, no, not interested.
Right. That's
all
fine.
Right. Surgical?
Yeah.
Oh, hit Scrap Trawler, right?
Yep. I mean, it's not what you want to hit.
I think it's exactly what you want to hit. I'm going to...
I mean, like,
Be a
the cards that
contrarian.
are available.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I guess, like, the Dream is the KCI.
Right. Just take what it's named after, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sorry, I was blanking out because I don't know why we're not attacking with Treetop, because Justin just loves to break my heart.
Well, we gotta kill this engineered explosives, you know?
Very possibly. I'm trying to figure out if KCI player, I think, is at a lower life total than... Oh, he's going to Nature's Claim his own EE.
You know what? That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what you've done.
Surgical EE. That'd be greedy.
That would be the greediest. I think we're more in line with Surgical Scrap Trawler. If you Surgical Scrap Trawler, I think you do just win the game. Thought Sword, I guess, is a consideration, but
I don't know if we're
long
seeing
way
it
off for
with
that.
Altar of the Brood. I don't know if those two
Oh
are
my
played in
god.
conjunction.
Oh sure. Yeah, that's what it is. Why
What
would
if,
you
though?
Why would you win when you can win more so? Yeah, this game should be fairly well wrapped up with Jund for the most part. Surgical target. Trawler.
Oh, read the card.
Trawler.
He had a trawler in hand. Oh,
Oh,
no.
disgusting. Okay, well, that's even worse than I can imagine for KCI.
Surely
Alright.
there are 4.
Probably shouldn't find any more. If you do, it might be a judge call.
That'd be weird. Lightning
The
bolt.
bolts is in there.
There's a grid.
There's a grid. Yeah.
At this point, you're not even killing the Liliana,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No.
that's fine. Whatever.
I think the KCI player's just drawing dead. This Tarmogoyf's going to single-handedly take over the game and win it.
Yeah, especially with the bolt in hand, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna activate treetop.
Well, probably not.
Your
Because-
opponent concedes before that, right? Like,
Well, once you activate Treetop, your opponent concedes. You know, just out of respect.
right.
Playing
It's a
Urza's
literal
Saga's
village
cards.
coming at me.
Yeah, it's an entire village. It's a treehouse. So Tarmogoyf's going to get in for 5. Does Bolt do it? I don't think so. Pass the turn.
Draw. Draws
Is it a good one?
Terrarium? Maybe?
A blank, almost certainly, because
Yeah.
most of the KCI deck is at this point.
So he has a Buried Ruin, so like...
Buried Ruin target. EE.
That's fine, but you're probably still just dead.
True statement. Bolt in hand. Never mind. Why would we use it? Don't even need it.
No, we'll just cast it at, sorcery
Maybe
speed.
we're just going to activate Treetop Village.
Ooh.
Maybe. Maybe, though. You can think about it. Mill yourself to put a Planeswalker in the graveyard. Ooh.
That would be powerful.
If only we had more in there. Yeah, this turn seems like fairly elementary to me, but maybe I have the life totals confused.
So I think he drew Scavenging Ooze.
He did draw Scavenging Ooze, you're correct.
You're not... Don't play
There
that card.
it is. Okay.
Yeah, activate this
Yeah,
thing.
there we go.
Get in.
Found the line. Deal 8. Deal 3 more.
Yeah, let's
Gonna feel
put
silly
some
if we
stuff
hit a
in the
Planeswalker.
graveyard.
Okay.
Oh.
Get back second Goyf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another
okay.
one.
Another one. So, must not have lethal that turn. Do you like the play of getting back the Goyf? Like, if you're going to take down the Liliana, for me, I think I'm just going to do it before combat. In case I hit another Planeswalker to try
Absolutely.
to add my Goyf.
I mean, like, percentage points, of course.
You're right.
You're obviously not going to tick her up, so you might as well do that before combat.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Draw a card. You're making some red mana and some green mana. You want to find
To
Ancient
start.
Stirrings?
So, what? There's an Ichor Wellspring.
Yeah, let's cast this thing.
It's not going to be enough.
He needs to, like, put a dude in play and hope he doesn't have removal. Here's an EE on 2.
Yeah?
That's fine. You have 1 mana.
He's got 2. He's got the waste hidden underneath. He's got the waste in the Inventor Sphere, so he can blow
okay,
the
okay,
EE,
fair,
but
fair.
there is going to be 6 damage happening next turn. So, well, we'll see what this does.
Yeah.
Goyf down for like the 3rd time this game. I guess it's only 2nd, but Bolt you.
It's 3 too many. Untap.
Draw Bolt. Didn't draw Bolt. Kolaghan's Command is pretty good though.
Can't activate Treetop.
So we have to activate Treetop. That's just
Yeah.
step 1. That's very
Yeah.
level 1.
Yep. Or play Goyf. I don't know.
Such greed. He's going for Scavenging Ooze. It's gonna break.
That's fine.
It's gonna break my heart.
That's
but
the safe play. We did activate Treetop, so like...
So maybe I'm super greedy, but for me, since Trawler's no longer a card that can be in my opponent's deck, I don't even think Scavenging Ooze is particularly good here. I don't think it's better than Goyf in any way.
So like if my opponent plays a Mirror Retriever and it goes to the graveyard, like
I
maybe
guess
there's
so.
some value, but
yeah,
we're living in Christmas land.
right, for sure.
Here's a star. Make red mana, as you do. Draw another Ichor Wellspring.
Bunch of redraws.
Could be anything.
Yep.
Offer it
That'll
up.
work.
There it is.
Good games. Good games.
Props on our Gen player for being very disciplined.
Yeah, he was very, very patient.
Like Treetop is the best card in your deck,
Oh,
so maybe
for sure.
activate that card more. But
Yeah, especially like at end step, just make sure you activate. Make
Let
your
him know.
opponent respect it.
here's a creature. Can you
Yeah.
kill it? No. All right, not a creature. Untap draw. Like
Yeah, doesn't die to EE under any circumstance. So
Oh, no matter how many times you read that card, it
sure.
still says
for
non-land.
sure, for sure. Yeah, but no, well done. The surgical was like probably the real actual backbreaker, but no, well done from all sides. The Scavenging Ooze game 1 was really, really powerful.
Well, we will see you back for our 4th and final round.